Hey, Gordon.
Oh, the glasses looks professional. I like that.
It's how I hide my bags under my eyes. Although, shoot, this is being recorded
Okay.
now.
Cool. Nice segue. We didn't even practice that one, so well done. Yeah, I'm still on a bit of a high from a successful open, so we can share a little bit about that too. And but man, quarters, our first, we're not quite at 48 hours yet. Our first 24 hours, super pumped. Could not be going better. And so that's like a huge testament to everybody that is on this call with respect to getting our individual and age group athletes pumped. And then those of you that have teams as well, starting us off with that quick turnaround this week, getting people going.
Well, and I
So
love
with
it
that,
too. Just that, oh, go ahead, D.
no, you go. You guys, sorry, it's like putting two cocks in like one house here. So,
No,
we're
I was just gonna
here
say,
with us.
as an affiliate owner, it is nice this year the fact I don't have to run individual quarterfinals then age group. That is definitely nice that we can lump that in and get that done in a hopefully 4 day window.
I mean, in masters, like having those dual qualifiers do two competitions like that, or having to decide, and those that can't help themselves and are going to register for both no matter what, even if it might be a little bit too much. So we're really excited about this new format, competing once, getting the buy one, get one for registration, and then also having those athletes that maybe just qualified as individuals or just as masters, being able to do the workouts with, everybody at the gym together.
Yeah, I love that idea. Danielle, what were you saying?
I was just going to backtrack here. And for everyone who's on this call now, if you missed it, my name's Danielle Williams. I'm the Northeast rep. Gordon Lake's on this call as well, who was just talking, the Southeast rep, and Heather Lawrence, who's the Senior Director of Sports Operations. A mouthful for that. But really our goal, I mean, teams are going to be announced very shortly. But this is really more how we can set up how you could best organize your athletes, your communities, with communications, anything that we brainstorm too. So any questions you have, anything you can contribute, we're going to try to moderate a discussion on that, because you still have time before the April 17th announcement, where you have that window from Wednesday. That would be 12 o'clock PT, EST, 3 hours from that. Can't do math really quickly in my head, and then into Monday. So, and that would be also at 5 o'clock PT. So there's still a good amount of time. And I know I'm preaching to the choir to say, hey, the open is the opportunity for us to get members gelling more together, having a deeper connection with our affiliates. And so this is just another opportunity. So Gordon and I, we were chit-chatting. We're like, we want to empower you, arm you with information that might be firing on all cylinders across different platforms. Have one spot that you can get that straight from Heather Lawrence as well. And then also dig a little deeper into some things that you can come off this call fired up. So yeah, with that said, and Gordon, please cut me off, but we want to hash out just some key differences that from this quarterfinals this year to last year. And just so that and this will go from Heather can speak more to this, but really this year, our rep team has been having lots of discussions with the games team with the goal of making sure that this is an event that is something that's inclusive for your athletes, as well as easier for you to run within your gyms. There's been a lot of thought put on compared to last year, what we could do to improve it this year. So yeah, to make for a seamless event. So Heather, would you mind just kind of hashing out like a quick overview of just how this is going to look for individuals, age group, I mean, teams while we're at it, but providing some details on that?
Yeah, absolutely. And just so everybody knows, teams in general are about just under 400 teams generally are registered for quarterfinals. So definitely a much smaller group, and they tend to be concentrated. Some gyms will have multiple teams and kind of like pockets. So I'm happy to spend time on teams as well, but I think we'll mostly focus on individuals and age groups. And the big key difference this year is that teams are going first. If you recall last year, we had about a 4-day registration window. Insane. Made it very challenging for you all, for us. Hard for you to even figure out who qualified, even when it was 10%. And now with the expansion to 25%, knowing we kind of needed a cycle to almost remarket it and re-educate people, not only because of the changed to 25%. But with that change, of course, we spent lots of time trying to understand the type of athlete that was going to qualify within 25%. So using data from previous years, understanding the capabilities across all age groups, and making sure that was really tied into the programming so that everybody has a great experience. That doesn't mean that it's a cakewalk, like it's going to be challenging, but it is certainly approachable from a programming standpoint. And so I think as people tend to kind of flip back to what was last year's quarterfinals workouts, it's going to take a lot of education from us, and hopefully we're doing an okay job at that, to try to help people understand that this is fun, this is going to be hard, but it's also something that can be done within a class. Within an hour-long class, we'll be able to provide you through CAP lesson plans that both feature a 1-heat and a 2-heat version. And so when you're thinking about this, if you're an affiliate that is planning on running these within classes, we've already announced that it's going to be 4 workouts, and we're going to be announcing those workouts on Wednesday, April 17th. And then that competition closes on Monday. So with the cadence of many affiliates having Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Monday regular classes that kind of are within that submission window, the thought is that those 4 workouts slide nicely into your programming. And so that's a way to kind of approach that. And with the 2-heat option this year, with the lesson plans, we found a lot of affiliates like that during the Open. And so that will allow those athletes that are quarterfinal qualifiers and registrants to have that judge and not have you have to adjust your entire week to accommodate that many folks outside of that competition window. And then for those that are just there for class, not registering, scale, modify, however you want, just like you do in a normal class. And maybe they'll take a look at that and be like, hey, I can actually do this next year. And so have something that is a little more kind of within, feeling like it's within the realm of getting there on that top 25%. There was a pretty big gap between what we consider our general gym population and that top 10%. And so really making it more accessible overall was a huge shift and a huge pivot on the sport side of things as Dave Boz and I were kind of working together on this. So longer window, designed to be affiliate friendly, 4 workouts, no floor plans. Okay, there are movement standard things that have to be taken into account, and there are safety floor plans. Don't put the rower under the rings. So there might be a minimum distance, things like that. But if we don't say that, I kid you not, people do that. They will jump from the equipment to the next thing. And so that's why you see some of our standards with stand facing backwards to avoid false starts, right? Touching that bar early, that helps in the judging. Other things, 5-foot distance. Let me check these. There are recommended camera placement locations. And there's details on the scorecards that will help you kind of understand that when those come out. So when you get the workouts, all 4 workouts will be released on Wednesday, yes. So you're gonna get all 4 workouts together. That'll include the standard scorecards, even though they're a little bit streamlined compared to previous years on scorecards, it does still have the standard movement information as well as specifics. Lesson plans are gonna be within CAP. So maybe Danielle or Gordon, is that gonna be affiliate toolkit access?
Yep, in the affiliate toolkit, just like the normally log in to see the CAP plans. And then too, Heather, one thing too, we'll hammer some of these questions more at the end, but I do have a couple of questions I kind of want to like get you. So we've done quarterfinals at my gym now for the last 2 years. And when I think of quarterfinals, I think of years past where it wasn't open to our community and it was like, hey, we've got 5 cameras going and we need this much space and we're using as much as we can. And so that is all I know as an affiliate owner. And so now when you guys were like, hey, it's going to be able to be done in class, well, now my mind is blown. And I literally don't know what to expect. And comes with that is some anxiety. And so walk me through, like, as an affiliate owner who only knows the past, like, not what to expect, but can you ease my anxiety? Like, hey, it's going to be more accessible in years past. And then the caveat to that, tell me why the greater focus on the community and the affiliate of making it more of an event this year.
Yeah, awesome. So a couple of things there. To ease your mind with respect to that class and even cameras, we have a couple things that are different here. We would love for competitors to be using a registered judge. However, they actually do not have to this year. So it's a little bit more like the Open. So the score submission will take that score for quarterfinals without it. The vast majority of our competitors in quarterfinals are pretty much understand they're probably not moving on. Those within that have a shot, okay, if you have athletes that do have a shot, you're going to have to take a little bit of a more traditional approach to accommodating those athletes. So if you have an affiliate where there maybe isn't as much space, or it just disrupts class too much to have that video camera set up in the intro, there is going to be a little bit of extra work for those athletes that are within, within the realm of qualifying for that next stage. And I see there's a question about top 200. So for age group, it's top 200 by age group worldwide. Age group was always based on the entire world, while the individual is based on region. Okay, and the reason behind the affiliate focus is that it always should have been that way, to be honest with you. And the feedback we received last year was the first year we did a separate affiliate owner survey after Open and quarterfinals. And we've always done a big survey, and you check whether or not if you're an affiliate owner, you check it, you get a few other questions. Last year, we did like a super deep dive on the experience, and it was loud and clear that we needed to make some adjustments. And we also, with the athletes, heard a lot of people that were interested in continuing their season in different ways. And so the expansion of the field, part of that came from that. The expansion of the competition windows was a direct reflection of both athletes saying, hey, don't make me take vacation to do quarterfinals as a 45 to 49 athlete. I need to space this out. And teenagers, quite honestly, saying that with school, they are having trouble fitting workouts in. And so really taking the entire kind of experience in hand, and the concerns about floor plans last year, heard you, that was loud and clear on the outcome. And so that feedback that you provide us is just critically important to helping us get better as we move forward. And so it is a renewed focus on it, and something that we got away from a little bit. And I think that's probably the best way to talk about it.
Well, and so with that, Heather, one thing, I don't want to pass over it, and you know these numbers, and me and Danielle know these numbers, but I think it was 343,000 people did the Open this year. And how absolutely amazing is that? And that's the highest number we've had since 2018. So what a huge celebration, but also too for every affiliate owner here like myself, like what a huge undertaking too. Like that was 3 weeks of amazing insanity, but still some amazing insanity. And so as we kind of talk about this moving forward, what are some ways you think too we can encourage our communities to kind of come together and rock this thing out again as another stage for the CrossFit Games?
Yeah, so that 343, 500, absolutely incredible. And so thank you to each of you. Hopefully you've heard that in our communication, how appreciative we are. And we know that it is not an easy undertaking to not only do the nuts and bolts of setting this up, but becoming a counselor for half of your athletes, where this is like a super high anxiety, time of year for them. And so it's a lot more than just that Friday night. We know that, I'm on vacation, I need the special access, I need all of that. So we truly appreciate that. And Gordon, I totally lost the question now. Oh, how are we going to rally together? I've actually heard a lot of really cool stories. I was talking to somebody, another employee at HQ. Her gym they're going to go ahead and do Friday Night Lights, the same setup as they kind of did for the Open. They have 15 qualifiers or so not like a huge amount, but they're still going to bring everybody back together for Friday Night Lights. Others, the affiliate where I coach, we are going to go ahead and do them in class, but we're trying to spend more time on social, celebrating those athletes. And then also, we were talking about on the whiteboard kind of how to differentiate scores throughout the day of qualifiers, just something simple, right? A little asterisk by those that are competing that decided to register that were qualifiers, maybe leaving those up there a little bit longer. And then I think the other thing that, and I don't know, Gordon and Danielle, if maybe we want to pull this up. I want to make sure everybody's aware of the new affiliate roster. Something we heard, and hopefully this makes your life easier. Another thing we heard is that, gosh, these people qualified, and like, I got to go through and search every single person on the leaderboard to figure out who qualified so I can like tell them to register. And so one of the things, and this should have been in the affiliate email that went out this week, it was more of like an explainer. But basically within your affiliate roster now, you'll be able to track as athletes progress through the season. So if I qualified and if I did the open, my little profile picture's there. And if I made quarters for individuals and age group, it moves up. And then if I register for just individuals, it moves up, and I've registered for individual quarterfinals, and then it'll be represented for each stage of the season. And so that will kind of live on until next year within that affiliate roster, but it allows you, and it would be great if you could share this with your members too, because they have access to it, a little bit of like, hey, to their friends that haven't registered, kind of using that little bit of peer pressure, right? So getting them involved, and then just so you have an easier view on who has made it.
And to
No,
kind
that's
of,
great, Heather.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Dee.
and I was going to say, to piggyback off of that too, we have enough time to be able to see who's registered or not. But I think the most pressing thing as owners is to come off this call and be like, it's up to us to create that schedule, like, and to take into consideration, is this going to be disruptive to class? Is this going to be something that I'm going to integrate the CAP plans into class, and what days? Perhaps there might be an option to add some classes on Sunday, but at your discretion, and factoring in, what other windows you might do outside of classes, and consider it like for how much time it's going to take for you and your staff and how many athletes, and make that determination. Then you can start communicating it to your athletes and to, your coaching team, whether it's a staff meeting, because that's going to make for a really well-run, organized experience for athletes. And I know with juggling a lot of things, it's better to do this sooner and have a couple weeks to make some noise about it. Not to mention, like what Heather had said, her gym with Friday night lights, you could do a special brunch on Saturday. There's also opportunities to actually carve out one time and just make this like your Murph barbecue, that event, bringing everyone together. Someone had a question also on CAP plans and when they're going to be released, and whether that's going to be at the beginning or on a daily basis. Heather, can you speak to that, or Chase?
Yeah,
and Chase.
and hey, John. First of all, I want to say hi to John. I owe you an email too. It's coming. It was just today though, so it's not too late yet. Yeah, I'm going to double check while we're on this call and make sure those days are locked for CAP plans, that's how it's slotting in with the rest day appropriately. So I'm going to do that while we're talking, and also let Chase answer if he has something.
I don't know specifically if they're going to line up the day at which it goes on. I believe they'll have all 4 given to you guys, but I don't think they're going to particularly say, this is the day for Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, but you guys will get all 4 CAP plans given to you. How they submit those on the CAP programming in your toolkit, I think is still being decided by the CAP team.
And as we kind of talk this out, guys, one thing we want to be able to do is have some tangible, not solutions, but tangible strategies for what you guys are going to do at your affiliate. And so there is not a, one size fits all. So I know for my affiliate in particular, so during the open, we run heats Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And we're going to do the same thing here, where we're going to have heats Friday, Saturday, and Sunday as a rallying point for our community. So one thing you guys really need to think about is, number one, have you or are you communicating with your internal team, like your coaches who are going to be there, your staff to help? Number two, have you communicated with the people who have made individual and age group quarterfinals so you can set the expectation for them, right? Do they know? So for us, right, we're going to have our athletes register through push press. And so we know exactly what time they're going to be able to be there. And then we are going to provide judges to them. And so you guys need to figure out that, like, are we providing judges if they need a registered judge? And Heather said that's not always the case. Are they going to register for times in push press? Are you going to put it in class? And then some people are going to do a Friday night light. So are you going to make it more of a community driven event where you may bring in a photographer, you may bring in some food? And so being able to start to flesh these things out now, so when you leave this conversation today, you can start having conversations with your team about how do we want this to look. I think at the end of the day, I love the fact that we have the option to put these in class, because it's a greater rallying point for our community. We all see great things happen during the open when people hit their firsts. And this is another opportunity that we can have to help support that in there. Chase and Danielle, too, any ideas that you guys have thought about your own affiliates about how you would run this?
Danielle, you, me.
I'm sorry, I was in the zone reading the question by John Mack.
Well, I'll talk to that a little bit. Is that
Okay.
different than the open because you guys will have one workout per week for 3 weeks? Is that you guys can get a bit more creative if you have the time to do so. I know it's coming up in a matter of 2 weeks, but I would look at it as an opportunity to give, a Friday Night Light one-off deal in the open. But if you can swing it a little bit, it might be a little extra lift, but it's a bigger lift for those that competed. Is maybe make it a Friday through Sunday thing for the majority of people. Give them an opportunity, kind of what Gord was talking about. It's like, hey, Friday we're going to do event 1, and then Saturday 2 and 3, and then maybe one more on Sunday. And those that just want to be in the mix and give themselves maybe their first competition feel, because I'm sure you guys got a lot of members from time to time that maybe want to sign up for that local competition, but they're too afraid to because they're not sure how they can handle 2 or 3 or 4 events at a time. And you could set your members up as giving them their own internal mock competition, just using the quarterfinal events themselves. I mean, how many affiliates have you guys heard that did an in-house competition? Maybe this is your opportunity to do an in-house competition that you don't need to program for. It's already there for you. You just got to facilitate some go times with the members you have. And that could boost them into coming back next year for the open and getting more excited for quarterfinals. Hey, are we going to do the in-house quarterfinals competition? You guys can get as creative as you want. And I think that's the most fun about quarterfinals, that it is special. It's unique in its own way. It's only going to be 4 events. They can be done in a class time setting. So the lift that maybe we've had in years past with quarterfinals, as Gordon talked about on the top of the call, it won't be there as much this year than it was in years past. So I would say give yourselves an opportunity to get as creative and as fun as you can, other than say 1, 1, 1, 1 on certain days, and just see what works for your community. I'm not excited about this at all. I don't know if anybody can tell.
I'll share a little anecdote from 2012, 13, and 14 at my affiliate. There was no quarterfinals, and I was really upset that we didn't get the opportunity those years to be at the games. So I created what was called the CrossFit Balance Games for my members, and it was just like quarterfinals, except it was in one day. But it highlighted based on performance, the top 10, scaled our RX. I hate to say this, but one year we got 5 kegs. We had a pretty large membership base. But it was like this, it was such a fun rallying event with people coming together that day. And people talked about it for ages. And then we even took it as far as doing it at a farm, doing a Hunger Games spinoff. And so you could see how excited I get about community events. And so this is a no-brainer, a little bit harder because it's a couple weeks, but it's something that you can use to set the tone. And since things are evolving with from what Heather has shared with you from prior years and things taken into consideration, nothing's ever perfect, but it's definitely going to be easier and evolve over the years. So this could potentially set the tone for other years to come for your members to be chomping at the bit. So yeah, I know that doesn't give you exact strategies step by step, but I would see this as like a 2-day Saturday, Sunday event, for folks wanting to get in their workouts. And for those more serious about using the whole window, then you can spread it across classes and give them those as an option. So,
well, I know as an affiliate owner too, right? You want to ask yourself the outcome after the open. So I know for us in the years past, the open for us was a huge momentum driver for our community to surround ourselves with one another and like push ourselves outside the comfort zone. And we use that momentum to carry into Murph, because we all know Murph is coming. It's really not too far away. And so we use the open as a really great momentum driver to get everyone involved in Murph. And now quarterfinals is another thing. So you've got to ask yourself as an affiliate owner, am I going to use quarterfinals to bring my community together and use it as a great momentum driver for, let's say, Murph's coming up? But I know we've also done in the past, we do a mock CrossFit Games at our affiliate too. So how can I use this as momentum to continue to bond my community and challenge them for other future events moving forward?
Yeah. Heather had also put in the comments, I suggest competing athletes are told to arrive early and get warm. And I think that's a great point. For those of you who follow Best Hour of Their Day, they had put out a prep video on logistics, and it broke it down on schedule considerations and just athlete expectations. So I recommend, there were some things that have been announced since that video was done. So But I think just like when you're looking at communications, I'd recommend coming off this, maybe taking 10 minutes to go through that just as an overview, and you know, creating that list of things that you want to remind your athletes. And they addressed that, Heather, on that video.
It was so good. And it's funny because we didn't talk about this ahead of time at all. But as soon as I saw it, I sent it to Boz. I was like, this is great, minus one little thing, which we just clarified. They specifically say you have to have a registered judge in that video. And so that's just one little inconsistency. The rest of it is gold. Things like having your athletes come actually prepared, having read the workouts, right? Like how much time can you spend with that? And gosh, I'm like, hey, we do not do a good job of that at our gym. We do not have expectations. We don't have clear expectations during the open or quarterfinals as to what the athlete needs to take responsibility for. And just by coming prepared, life should be much easier. The questions should start at a much more detailed point instead of like, what's the workout as they walk in. And so I think that little snippet was really well done. So I agree.
And that goes back to what we said earlier too. So we're exactly 2 weeks out from quarterfinals. So a great opportunity for you guys as affiliate owners this weekend is start to create your process of what this is going to look like. And then I would say at least 7 to 10 days beforehand, you are emailing or contacting everyone who's doing quarterfinals and saying, hey guys, here's the process of how it's going to go. You need to be made sure you've read through all the workouts, the movement standards, that you're warmed up, ready to go. You're going to register for your heat time, or we're going to do it in class. And so making sure that you guys communicate that. For in the past, a lot of us have done the open, so we kind of know, like, hey, all right, well, we've done the open, so we know. But I think the more we can prepare our athletes because they're nervous as well and don't know what to expect, I think the better that would be for that.
Yeah, and we're already seeing, it's really interesting. Like I mentioned at the top of the call, quarterfinals registration is very strong. About 55% of registrants are first-time registrants for quarterfinals, which to me likely signals that folks that are below around that 10% are raising their hand and opting in. They haven't seen the workouts yet, like they are just in, which is so cool. But at the same time, it's a group that hasn't done quarterfinals before. And so what may be second nature to some of us is brand new. Things like 2 submission windows. And so in the, so understanding that, say you're going to do this in class and maybe you have qualifiers that aren't even sure that they want to register, but you're going to put a judge on them for the Thursday for the first workout. Like they can still decide after that to get registered, but they have through Saturday that first submission window to register. So if there's somebody on the fence, I would love for them to register and just be ready to go. But if they need that first workout to decide whether or not it's right for them, that's great too. So just some little nuances about it that people aren't used to. And with that high percentage of first timers, just kind of an extra reminder that it is brand new for a lot of people.
I think let's touch on that right there. So Katie Thompson, I'm gonna call on you. So Katie is from CrossFit Mousetrap. So Katie, let's say you have an you have an athlete at your gym who's on the fence about quarters, right? Maybe what are some great talking points you're going to cover to help encourage that athlete to take that step?
Yeah. So for us, we're definitely running these in our classes as a means to encourage that. All of our athletes that qualified are first-time qualifiers this year. And we went from 0 qualifying athletes to 5 at our affiliate this year. So the whole community is really, really excited about that. But we also had a couple that were just on the cusp. And so giving them the opportunity to participate and take the chance to like do it RX and see if they could, hang with the big dogs. Our community is already really excited about that. For the couple of folks that were a little bit more nervous about like, I kind of already capped, like these were all of my skills. I don't have any more skills to move on. Taking the stress out of, I have to try and schedule this on my own at a different time gives that, flexibility. And now all 5 of them have said 100% we're in, like, sign me up, we're going. So that's really awesome for us.
Well, I love that too. You make a great point about even those people who are on the cusp. So I've got people who are like 73%. So giving them the opportunity to do the workouts to see how much more they can challenge themselves. That's a great point too. A good way to just continue to encourage our athletes to do it. Like, hey, you were right on the cusp. Why don't we see if you can do these workouts? That's great.
Yeah.
That also brings to mind, it's a great opportunity to highlight each qualifying athlete, like how you would do like a member highlight or member of the month. And I've been seeing these across, Instagram, but whether it's one post or several posts, but you look at this, I always am, and I had referred to this many times on this call as a community event, but it's also an opportunity for those who qualify to put them on a pedestal and highlight them and make them feel supported as an individual too. So I think that looks great across that. So, and anything that you have to each of the reps, we're running our own Instagram handles, their regional handles like CrossFit affiliates, Northeast, Southeast, South Central. Who cares about South Central? No, I'm joking. But yeah, but please like tag us on that. We're always looking to share like what you're doing so that other people scrolling through is like, wow, I'm going to put that idea in my back pocket. So we're always looking for content for that, or you could reach out directly to your rep.
No, that's great too. And I want to open up the floor just for some questions, guys. So if you can use this chat function down here, I'm going to ask Heather some questions as well. And Danielle, if you can moderate that chat function.
Yeah. So there is a question.
All right, go ahead.
Boom. From Adam. He says, is there a way to see from our affiliates who made quarterfinals? And Heather had touched on that with the affiliate roster, Adam, but yes, you can, if you go into your competition dashboard, you can look up and scroll down. If you go to manage my affiliate, we actually have a video on this on the CrossFit Affiliates Northeast channel too. But you'll see if you scroll down the dashboard, it's showcasing your members who qualify from quarterfinals from the open, and then also if they registered. So that'll be updated in real time as people register.
So Heather, I know that you cannot say, hey, here's the equipment we need. As much as Chase and I would love for you to give us a equipment list, we know you cannot. However, you said that this is accessible to be in class. And so with that, could we assume, and you don't have to answer this, could we assume that the general equipment that we have in our affiliates is going to be what is best?
Yes.
Okay. And also touched on what Dave likes to call the unknown and the unknowable and why that is important.
Like why we don't share all of this?
Correct.
What do you think? What is, I mean, like, what does the community think? I'm actually really curious. Well, there's a whole lot of that's part of the thing. What do you guys, here's one thing too. I challenge you all and your members to beat Dave. Like just beat Dave in quarters. That's all. You do nothing else, beat Dave. You'll make my heart sing. We're actually going to play with that a little bit. So you may see something coming out on social about that specific thing. But really, when you think about this, I mean, think about the little bit of tension, that little bit of competition anxiety, right? And even for kind of the small group that is aware of the workouts, unless there's a need to test some things, we don't do them. We don't change our training plan. Dave doesn't change his training. And so the temptation, if we were to like have workouts released, to change everything, or for your members to go a little bit nutso and want to come in and only train toward that thing, goes against everything that we stand for as far as GPP. And so that is a big part of it in this part of the season, right? And then some of those things hold true throughout as we get into semis and things like that as well, is like everybody is on that equal footing as far as the unknown and unknowable. And your training up until the point you hear the workout is what prepares you. And so that is the way you should be approaching the entire year. So I don't know if that answers it, but that's the reason.
Well, and a part of me likes that too, though, the unknown and the unknowable, because I've always thought that athletes should be adaptable. And especially with like what we're doing, like you kind of have to adapt on the fly. And as much as I would, as an affiliate owner, as much as I would like a list, I also know that when you said, hey, this is going to be accessible in class, that it's going to be able to be a bit more accessible than in years past.
Yeah.
Someone asked this question, doesn't Dave have an advantage by knowing the workouts? Come on. Have you seen Dave work out? I mean, Dave never has an advantage.
I mean, it's not really helping him much, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
And actually, just so we're, I'm happy to share this in full transparency. Within HQ, anybody that has any advance notice of the workout before the moment they're released cannot advance past quarterfinals. And so that's just something for you all to be aware of. And so there's a lot of people at HQ that are maybe are aware of it and they compete, but quarterfinals will be that last stage for anybody that has any advance notice for about any stage of the season.
Heather, I had a question by John. Speaking of, can we create custom leaderboards for the quarterfinals?
No, I do not believe so. I hope your athletes enjoyed those. We had a 7 times year-over-year increase in custom leaderboard usage this year during the Open, and we changed some features so that it was a little bit more or a lot more user friendly. But it's something that we really want to dig into a bit more and work towards using custom leaderboards to help you run different stages of the game season. So figuring out a way to make those things useful to running your intramural, things like that. So that's kind of what we would like to accomplish in that space.
Can you speak, Heather, of the submission windows? Would that be the first and second workout and so forth?
Yeah, I can just say the first submission window is Saturday, and then Monday is close of competition.
That was a leading question. I was trying to bait you.
It was.
That. But it wasn't from me. It was from Katie. We also had a question of locating the competition dashboard. Rick, are you set with that? Similar to your competition dashboard? Okay. Does anyone else have any other questions? Is everyone pretty fired up and organized, being that this is like preparing from the unknown and we don't have all the details? Did you all find, and answer me candidly too, like this is an open forum, but like, did you find this helpful? Are you feeling a little bit less anxious if you came on this call, a little bit more confident? Nah.
Just sort of affirmed what I figured, trying to block off open gym times, right? Get coaches to volunteer to host it so that it's not all on me for 5 days. And then having those sort of lined up and be able to communicate it, not just on our social media, but I plan on sort of a direct email to the 20-something people who made it, you know what I mean? Trying to tell them what Gordon had said, like, hey, this is what you can plan. You know what I mean? If none of these work, you have to make arrangements with me beforehand. Don't assume you could just show up and somebody's going to be at the gym to do but yeah, like I said, it just sort of affirmed. I just want to make sure I don't know what I don't know until I start listening to you guys.
No, and that's a good point too, Tom. I think the better that we can have our processes in place, it's going to be a smoother transition for all of us. So I know for our affiliate during the Open every year, people know your athlete briefing is 10 minutes before your heat time. You have to be warmed up and we'll assign your judge. So they just know we have to do these things. I do want to take a second and let's just throw out some things we don't want to see in quarterfinals. I'll go first. I do not want to see pistol squats in quarterfinals. And so I'm just going to go popcorn. Adam Gelfland, tell me what you don't want to see in quarterfinals.
Oh, popcorn too means.
I'm open for anything. I'm not. There's nothing in particular. I'm ready for it all. Let's go.
Hell yeah.
All right, let's go. Ward, what do you not want to see in quarterfinals? Ward's like, oh, hold on, I'm getting this.
Yeah, I'm like 5'4", so wall balls is a no-go. F wall balls. Burpees, cool. Wall balls, nah.
Ward is just hoping for 100 burpees per time. He's like, come on, let's go.
7 minutes of burpees all day. Let's do it.
Chase Ingram, what do you not want to see in quarterfinals?
Ward, we do not live the same life, my friend. I'm 6'2", so we are the opposites. At that height, in my current fitness level, I would probably just say me and handstand anything are not best buds at the moment, as per my workout yesterday. So I have 2 weeks to get it together if they arrive.
Heather, really quick, I just want to make sure that I'm correct on this. Oh, Gordon, affiliate manager. Yeah, never mind. Someone had a question about the competition dashboard and it should default to open, right?
And then Heather, do you want to drop what you just said about the cap plans for us?
Yeah, for sure. So I just heard back from Sarah Hopping Estrella that manages that program. They'll be the workouts will be programmed Thursday, Friday to Saturday, Sunday, with the note suggesting flexing Sunday to Monday as needed.
It would be cool too if there could be something like if we beat Dave Castro in quarters, we get like a special badge. You know,
I mean,
just like
olive
maybe
oil. I keep telling him you have to send olive oil to everybody that you don't follow him. He's got
It's gonna be
a
a
side
lot
hustle.
of oil, olive oil.
Yeah, it's really good too. I would refuse to buy
It
it, but I
is.
finally got forced to take some home from a meeting. It's really good.
The garlic
Hate to admit
infused
that.
one.
I have not
It's-
tried that yet.
you guys sound like
It's nice.
paid advertising.
TDC Mercantile, TDCmercantile.com.
All right,
And
guys.
we're
Well, hey,
gonna
we
add it.
appreciate you guys' time today.
I
If
was
you
gonna
guys
say
have
if
any
you beat
questions, you
Chase
can
too.
go ahead. Dee.
We have Chase on the call. If you beat Chase, are you gonna give us OG apparel?
Ooh.
That's a good wager.
Oh, you guys can reach out to me directly if you beat me.
Seeing
This will be
that
this will be the best time you've ever had in your life. Because next year there's no shot unless some of you are going to semifinals. But that's it. So get it in while I'm unfit.
Yeah, and I appreciate that. And the idea for patches, killer. We were unable to pull it off. It was in the plan this year, and unable to get that done in full transparency with the new partner switch and stuff. So fully on board that like patches are a no-brainer, either like with a shirt purchase, like free for everybody or something, and then with shipping, and then if you buy the shirt, like it's included or whatever. So definitely something that is high on the radar for future.
And then too,
Gordon.
just thank you for coming on, Heather. Like just the fact you're able to share this information. I know as an affiliate owner for me, like kind of helps ease that out too. What do you think, Danielle?
Yeah, and I was gonna ask one question. I know you're trying to wrap up this call. Hey guys, I know I can't stop talking, but I'm curious too, and I'm a little biased because both Gordon and I are gonna be there in person, but is there anyone on this call making their way to Knoxville for semifinals, or if you're West Coast, like a show of hands or yay or nay? You're still considering it, right? Well, we're putting out more information on a special community event for the Knoxville one, and I'll be there in person. So it would be really, we're also going to be putting in a lot of work for opportunities for you to connect in person, affiliate owners. So just be on the lookout for more information on that. No, it's a fire hose of information since we're just focusing on quarters, but all the reps should be communicating that in the future too. So yeah. Okay, Gordon, now I'm sorry. I know you were trying to wrap up this call a while ago and be respectful of people's time, so I'm done.
It's all good. Hey guys, we appreciate y'all's time today. And like Heather said earlier, if no one told you that the Open was a success because of you guys, 100% because of you guys and just all the hard work you put in. And it's just amazing that we're able to have that many people experience CrossFit around the world. And if you guys have any questions moving forward, make sure to utilize your regional reps. That is why me and Chase and Danielle and Katie and Kevin and Andrew, when his wife is not having kids, that's what we are here for, to serve you guys as much as we absolutely can. So any questions that come up after this, please feel free to reach out. And hopefully here's to beating Chase in quarterfinals this year. See you guys. Have a
Thanks,
great day.
everyone. Take care. Bye.
Bye.
Danielle, I didn't realize I sent Chase I said, he's like, hey, send me the link. And I just sent him my link that I registered with. And so I looked down and said, Chase, your name says Gordon Lake right now.
I know, I made him aware of that ASAP.
Oh, that's a trip. You know, the more I think about it too, and it's very much like workout dependent, but like running it in